All right, let's call this meeting to order and start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everybody in the room's been here before, so we can dispense with all of that. We have the approval of the minutes for May 21st. Anybody have any questions or changes? I have a motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Tim, seconded by
Adrian.
Adrian. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. One abstention since I wasn't here. How we doing, folks? Can I get you to make sure you sign in over here, or somebody sign in so we know that who's here for the clerk, please? Okay, so the exits are in the back of this room, and then when you came in at, please silence all of your phones, pagers, all the other good, I say pagers, who the hell has a pager anymore? Watches, anything else you may have. Okay, with that, we'll be conducting in accordance with the adopted 2025 Planning Board Rules of Procedures. And with that, we start with the PB 1002-24, Jeff Shearer, preliminary 6-lot subdivision. Who's here for that one? Anybody online? For the Shearer subdivision?
All right, so we received a letter today
I
stating
did see that.
that he was not coming to the PRC.
Oh, I didn't catch, okay, yeah,
So I can at least give the board an update.
okay,
They said that they have filed with the planning board for a 90-day extension, so that's what they're looking for from you guys tonight. They have no additional communications from Empire Pipeline at this point. They are still meeting with the pipeline to try to figure that out. New York State DEC has rendered after 120 days that they have determined that the Class 2 wetlands exist on the property ID. So they have reached out to Region 8 to perform the wetland delineation. They have not received a response on that as of yet. They are in discussion with their applicant. This is Larry, sorry, I should have said that. Larry is the engineer.
right,
They are in discussion with the applicant about resubmitting for only lot 3 at this time, and then have the rest of the lands as unknown. And then they are working to get a curb cut on lot 2 and bring in fill, which would improve the concept of this, but that would have to be approved by you guys too, so.
right.
But he does not, will not be coming to PRC tomorrow, so that's sort of where we're at.
So we're giving a 90-day extension. I think that's what the resolution says, right, Ron?
Right.
Let's see. Continues to September 3rd, 2025. Okay. Anything else, Ron, you want to add to it?
No, that's it. I mean, they are getting delayed by DEC, getting delayed by natural fuel gas.
Right.
We all knew this was going to be a difficult property to develop,
Correct.
and it's being proven that it is.
Mm-hmm. Just what we thought it would be. Yes. Anything else, Dan?
I do not have anything else.
Paula?
No.
Engineering.
No comments at this time.
Okay, this is a continued public hearing. Anyone in the public like to speak for or against this application? This is the preliminary subdivision of the 5-lot Alexander Shear subdivision. Anyone like to speak for or against it? Anyone online like to speak for or against this application? Okay, board, anybody have anything on this one?
have.
Well, I think that at some point you have to draw the line in the sand and say,
Feel like they have a lot of things they need to do.
yeah,
Right.
and, right.
You could put that as a condition that this is,
I agree too, really. I think give them the 90 days and see where it goes, where they need to.
Withdraw.
Do the one lot that they maybe think can get approved or something, work out the rest of, and come back or whatever, but something will have to be done in this 90 days, so not just.
Right.
It's every 90 days.
Sorry, what?
Second.
second.
Second, yeah. The one thing we have typically not done is not continue it if it's something outside of their control, like natural fuel gas in this case, or DEC, which has come through. But they're still waiting on natural fuel gas. But I think 90 days, and then we really have to look at it hard at the end of that, for sure. Sure. Anybody else have any comments?
They're still waiting on DEC too, right?
No, they got DEC.
Well, they got a response back saying that
Bonds.
Right.
there's wetlands there, but now they have to wait for DEC to come out and actually delineate
Delineate.
where they're gonna be.
Would
That-
they
that
want-
could be 60 days plus, right? So.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, easy, easy.
Do we do 90 or do we do more? I mean, is
I-
that real? I guess we can get updated this, we could always do one more or get some response out of these. So.
If we're getting closer, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd like to go on record too, in that, we haven't yet talked about the septic system issue. I mean, they don't have a perkable site that I know of. I don't know if lot 3 perked or not. I don't.
I think they had one lot that would perk,
Okay.
but the rest were, and then of course, we're concerned about with DEC about the wetlands. I mean, they can only be
Right.
so close to that.
Right. So I think that's a huge issue that hasn't been addressed. They haven't even brought it up. Certainly, we have the natural fuel gas issue of what the cost is to move those anodes and whether the applicant's willing to pay that cost to move those. Well, there are just a number of things that make this a complicated application, and I think 90 days, we would expect, and when you discuss this with the applicant, the planning board expects that they will have some pretty solid answers to these types of questions and what's going forward.
Yeah, the state health department gave notice to us that they're not gonna approve raised fill systems
Right,
on a realty subdivision.
Right.
Which is 5 or more lots.
right.
Okay, so they may very well at some point come back with fewer than 5 lots.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we'll just monitor PRC and hopefully there's
Yeah,
better communication over the next few months before we.
right,
Before you guys see them again. Yep.
right. So with that, I have application here which extends the public hearing and puts it out to September 3rd. Do I have, is everybody okay with this resolution for now? I have a motion to waive the reading and approve this 90-day extension of the application and the public hearing. Moved by Doug, seconded by
Adrian?
Adrian. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
Lucia. Aye. Doug Leeds. Aye. Gina Souza. Aye. Adrian Gallo.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item up. Here? No.
No, no.
Okay, all right. Next item up, PB 2025-0402, Georgina Gerlach. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Can you just kind of give us a quick overview? Let's see, this is a public hearing. Can you just give a quick overview of what you're doing? It's a 2-lot subdivision.
Okay, well, I own the whole thing, and now I am giving, one to my daughter,
Okay,
her husband. And the rest of it is going to stay with me.
stay with you. So you're just breaking off a piece of the property for a family member.
Right.
Okay, Ron,
That's exactly what I understood. We did send notice to the town clerk in the town of Canandaigua because of the 500-foot rule.
okay,
We didn't receive any response. So, we're good to go there. I think it's exempt from the county planning referral, a simple 2-lot subdivision.
okay,
And, she's here tonight to, answer any questions that the public may have.
okay. Dan?
Ron summed it up, so I'm all set.
Give the applicant a quick overview of the procedures. Meaning, I mean, this is a preliminary.
Yep, so, if the board approves things tonight, you'll submit the plans for staff to sign it. And then the next step is to submit for final, subdivision. So would be one more meeting and then it would be official. And then the map gets filed with the county, to subdivide it. Now, the lot that you're subdividing off, if your family wants to build on that lot, which it sounds like, nope, they don't.
It's already a house.
Already,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So then it should.
Yeah.
Just subdivided and you're all set.
so the next meeting I come back?
Nope, you would have to submit for an application for the next meeting, and then we'll give you a date and you would come back for that one.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah, what you do is get your engineer, submit the plans with the changes in the resolution. There aren't very many of them, there's a couple of them. And then we'll sign that, and then once that's signed, then they can submit for final plans. Once the staff has had a chance to review it, they'll put it on and they'll give it to us to recommend that it moves forward because it's finished or completed. And then we'll put it on an agenda. Once that's approved, then it's got to go back in for signature for that. And once that's done, basically the subdivision is done, barring the filing that has to be done at the county. So it's pretty straightforward. But here's the bottom line. If you got any questions, talk to staff. Staff will answer all your questions, so. Ron, go ahead.
I did talk to this surveyor from, Marks Engineering.
Yep,
And the wording on the federal flood insurance program is a little different, but it's correct. So I'm not gonna, I told this surveyor that it was fine.
okay,
Just a matter of wording.
perfect. Okay, Paula,
I'm all set.
engineering?
No comments.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Do I have anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? Anyone online like to speak for or against this application? With that, I have a resolution. Well, we have to close the public hearing. So do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Moved.
Moved by Adrian, seconded by Regina. Any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Public hearing's closed. So now we have a resolution with conditions, which I assume the engineer has had a chance to look at. They're pretty basic. There's nothing big deal here. So did you get to see a copy of this? Everybody, everything's okay then? Okay, do I have a motion to waive the reading and approve this resolution as presented? Motion by Tim, seconded by Doug. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
Lucia. Aye. Doug Beats.
Aye.
Gina Souza.
Aye.
Adrian Bellis.
Aye.
Helen Terry.
Aye. Good to go. Now you just got to get Marks to send in the updated drawings. We'll get them signed, then they can put in the final, and then we'll be ready to go. Okay, thank you very much. There are no new public hearings, and then we have 2025-0503. Link, I believe that's you, T&M Properties, Villager Construction.
Good evening, everybody.
This is final site plan.
We are here for final site plan for the Loomis
Yep,
Park. Industrial Park. With me is Mike Lawless from Villager and Max Hegney with Lefroy. And, basically, we're here tonight. We've submitted, you've seen preliminary, granted preliminary approval on seeker negative deck April 2nd. We also were here last time for the grading permit, which we got the grading permit, we got SWIP coverage. We have, been, working to address all the staff comments. There's a few, conditions on the approval that we know we need to keep working through that will
Mhm.
make sure everything's resolved before we request plan signatures. But I think you've seen it before. Some of the changes, there are some changes on the plan. The building changed slightly. Basically, there's a breezeway between the offices and the maintenance building just for some separation for noise. That was the big change. And then, you know, we gave you some better building elevations and renderings.
Mhm.
Last time, that was what they were sort of working on when we were here for preliminary. So we gave you updated elevations and floor plans, which helps clarify. I think we had a question on the end of the solid
Right.
building and stuff. Sort of, I think those help sort of explain the intent of the building. Right now, yeah, I mean, there's mainly we've addressed, there was a couple MRB comments. We provided written responses that,
Mhm.
that they were satisfied with those. We're just looking for the final approval and
Okay,
get this process rolling along, so.
perfect. Okay, we'll turn it over to staff. Ron?
Yeah, Link, for the record, you want to talk about the contractor storage yard?
I do, I had a few comments on the resolution. I didn't know if we wanted to just.
Do it now, whatever you.
Yeah, so the contract storage yard, is up, up in this area. We didn't really show it. Meant to show it. I doing a lot of revisions to get everything back. But the contractor storage yard, they are using it now. It's consistent with what we talked about with the grading permit and what they're using it for. The, right now, there's no, in the resolution, I noticed you mentioned security fencing. There's no intent on the security fencing. They're planning on continuing to use the access off of Loomis Road there, coordinating with the highway superintendent on that access location until they can get the other access point constructed and built, which is gonna sort of be starting after we get the final site. Really, we're
Right.
approved to do grading now, right? So, and some of the storage area, but they've been using that storage yard as, I think it's consistent with what we talked about, and coordinated with through the grading permit process, so.
Same hours of operations, no change there.
Yeah, everything as we agreed upon based on the grading permit is how they've been
Right.
operating, so.
Okay,
I haven't heard anything differently, so. And
Ron?
that's how it's been running, so.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, I just wanted you to show that and address it on the,
We'll show that location, we'll clarify that
so
location
that
on those plans before we.
somebody doesn't come to the town and say, but it's not shown on the final approved plans.
Yes, it should.
Okay,
Okay, anything else, Ron?
no.
Dan?
The only comment I have is, actually in regards to the highway, and the highway superintendent's not here tonight, but is making sure we're keeping that road clean. I do know that we've had some tracking issues out to that road, so we gotta make sure that we're doing our due diligence, especially with all the wet weather.
If it stopped raining, it would help.
We have no control over that. We have a lot of control. That's not one of them.
But what we do have control over is making sure the road's getting clean. So, I get that you got a lot of things going in and out of that construction yard area. We have no problems with that. Obviously, that's been approved. But we do need to make sure the road stays clean. That's all I have.
Oh,
I'm all set.
engineering.
As Lincoln mentioned, they have submitted responses to our last letter.
Right.
Responses are satisfactory to us, so we're just waiting on revised materials whenever.
Right, and there was one change suggested to the item 15 on the resolution that said instead of prior to issuance of C of O, it's prior to construction beginning or issuance of a permit. So that was a recommendation by engineering. Okay,
I have one comment on that.
Go ahead.
we have issued a grading permit already.
Right.
So I don't know if we want
Is that a construction permit though? I mean, I don't know what the.
yeah, I didn't want, I just want to try to make sure we don't have confusion on,
You want to just say construction beginning?
yeah, if we could.
Okay, we'll scratch that up.
Or pre-con for the site work. We have to have another pre.
Yeah, we do have, that might be the best thing is before the next pre-con.
Pre-con for this, we're gonna have to do another pre-con when we get going with the rest of it, right?
Yeah, so if you guys are acceptable, I would be much prefer that language over.
So prior to pre-construction meeting,
Correct.
For the site.
get that, John? Okay, we'll fix that one up. Okay, board. Tim?
No.
Adrian?
I have a couple things.
Okay.
I guess I need more clarification on that contractor yard stuff. I'm confused why it's, so this is only for building? Or there'll be a yard down there all the time full of equipment?
This is the yard, temporary yard that they're using for the staging area for throughway.
So all the stuff that was there before that moved away because there wasn't, is coming back, is what you're saying? So it's not just-
Well, they've got a lot of it on grounds for the throughway, right?
We don't have any of that there now.
They don't have any of it there now. For a
That's
staging.
right, but it would be what was there before when we said something. As you take
Yeah.
most of it away except for the piping and stuff, so that's all coming back.
Well, a lot of that material we've taken off being used, like variation.
But it's only a temporary thing or whatever for the throughway for the next 2 years or whatever it is, and then nothing's gonna be there, or it will always be a storage yard.
The intent is for it to be for, intent is for us to store stuff in the building that,
Once the throughway job's done, it'll be all,
yeah.
at their site.
Okay.
So you're basically just restoring that area once it's done. Be great.
Okay.
I have more, but go ahead if you're answering something to this.
Well, the contractor storage yard is a permitted use in this district. So showing it and getting it on the final site plan means that you can use it for other projects, not just limited to the throughway. And I want everybody to understand that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep.
But that was being eliminated, I thought, in the plans. Would they have to create a new one or something at that point?
But they'll come up and
We'll
come
we'll
up.
come up, we'll come in our new driveway. This driveway is. Once this is established.
So that'd be like a phase 2 of this project, basically, then to build the road over there? more or less?
Well, that's what you're proving tonight. They're gonna start this building next. And then once they start that building, they're gonna build the pond and the road out and everything. This temporary grading was just so they could start material and use that throughway.
I was just thinking down the road, like what Ron was saying, if that was down the road, if you wanted to use it again, though, for staging area. Well, I get you're building the building and all that now.
Well, the intent of doing all this grading is they might be able to do more building.
Yeah,
That's the intent, that,
Yeah.
you know, we're setting this up.
right.
for new-
So even though, you guys, you're not really intending for that use, right?
But it can be a use for everything, so we're not seeing it on the map. Right.
Yeah, once they come in for building permits for additional lots.
When they begin to subdivide it, yeah.
Right, but if it does, that takes 20 years, it could be a storage lot for
20 years.
stuff we can't see it or something on the map.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
When we went over the grading permit, we had talked about this, and this was gonna be allowed as part of the grading permit, so.
Right.
That use right now is allowed.
Right.
And Ron's absolutely correct, it's allowed in the district, so, if they decide to make it more permanent and have a different access point, well, I believe you have 2 years on the current access point of that temporary, what we're calling a temporary storage for the throughway project, and that was part of the grading permit that was approved already, so.
okay,
And then screening against the neighbors, there was, you were gonna put some stuff up through there. South.
We added some more trees along that on the landscape plan.
on the east side,
Yes.
And then the other biggest thing I have is the road, you know, coming out of the pit right now or wherever they're calling staging area. I mean, I know it rains, but I've gone through there a couple times and the road's covered and this is at nighttime, you know, like 7, 8 o'clock and it's dirty, like, so it's gonna be problem, like, we're gonna have to somebody's gonna have to go down there with a machine and sweep it or something at the end of a day or something. I mean, I know it's like, I know highway will probably be on it and if I see it again, I'll probably say something to Tim about it and then he'll be on you guys again, but that is my concern. I've already seen it, you know what I mean? So just be aware of
Anything else?
that. I'm good.
Gina? The only thing I have is, when we talk about the building there, I'm not sure, I mean, I understand why you did the separation for noise, but what kind of hours of operation are we talking about in the area that's gonna be generating the noise? Is that gonna be a typical daytime operation, or is it gonna be a 24 hours a day?
8 to 5.
8 to 5? Oh. I just think that's important because we do have residents in the area, even if it is GI, we still have residents in the area, so, okay. All right,
Yeah, I just want to point out to the board that one of the conditions is in response to the neighbors' concerns about putting a buffer between their property and the proposed building, and that's in the resolution that landscaping has to be in by October 31st of this year.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was gonna talk.
Okay.
okay, with that, go ahead and talk about the resolution.
So, yeah, I just had a few, I called around and we sort of talked through a bunch of these. But I just wanted to go through. So number one, the, outdoor storage. I just wanted to clarify, they're not proposing any kind of security fencing. So I don't know if that needs to be scratched. I don't want anybody to have any hopes that we're having security fencing and we're not doing security fencing, or, I know that was put in there and maybe it just wasn't clear.
Well, I think it says, and any security fencing that might be added, so I think you're
So
okay.
we're okay.
Yeah,
Sleep
I think-
it. I just
yeah,
want to make
we're
sure.
okay. Yeah.
And then the second one with the 10-foot wide easement, that I believe is along, the 10-foot wide easement is that's along Loomis Road.
And then a sidewalk installed across the frontage.
I wasn't sure what that sidewalk easement was, but just wanted to clarify that the easement and the sidewalk are on Loomis Road.
Yep.
Right. And just so you're clear, the easement and the construction of the sidewalk. Okay,
Because it wasn't clear where the easement was.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure the easement was along Loomis Road and the sidewalk.
yep,
So you might want to add 10-foot sidewalk easement along Loomis Road shown on the drawings and a 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk along the frontage of Loomis Road. And I also
where else would it be?
along the internal road.
Oh, the internal road? That's a private, we wouldn't require it on a private road.
Well, we were taking in, we're doing
Yeah.
an easement there, so I don't want to add another 10 feet to my 66-foot right
No,
of
no.
way, right?
No, but just remember that if you decide at some point in the future to dedicate that road, you're going to need a 10-foot wide easement along the road.
Well, we got the sidewalk shown in the
Right.
in the easement on our plan.
Okay, I
That
just want,
hashed in that if in the future case that we had to build the.
just want to make sure we're clear.
That's why I don't want to show another 10-foot easement. That's what I
Right.
was just trying to clarify. because
Okay.
I don't want it to be, we're gonna give you a 10-foot easement along the frontage of Loomis for the sidewalk. The sidewalk's gonna be in the Loomis where it's,
Right.
if we build it. But we're also still intending to go ask for a variance to not build that. So I don't know if that needs to be, you're putting a condition in here.
We're putting a condition, it's got to be done unless
Gotta
it's
be
a
done.
variance, I mean,
If I get a variance, then
Easement would still.
that's.
yeah.
fine.
Then it wouldn't be.
And we wouldn't be required.
Right, the building wouldn't be required. I still think we need the easement one way or the other. Okay, what else you got?
7, the water main extension. Is that something that we can discuss with the water superintendent and not just have as a condition of this approval? Because that's a quite a bit of water main and we're extending it to the throughway to nowhere, and that's a lot of money. We extended it all the way across. Is there a way that we can change that condition to just say, we'll discuss extending the water main with the water superintendent?
He's gotta sign it, so
If he's okay,
whatever discussions you have with him, and if he's happy,
then it's okay that I didn't do it exactly per this condition. But
he signs it before this guy does.
Yep, typically, yep.
Okay, so as long as he's good with that, and the planning board's gonna be okay with that?
We should adjust the wording a little bit to say,
Or what the superintendent of water and sewer says.
Yeah, I'm
So
just,
this is number 7.
I'm just saying, can we give us a little wiggle room there, so if we can get him to. And I just don't wanna build the health department's already approved it and stuff, I don't wanna add a bunch of water main for, that's never, we're just adding a big dead end, that's not gonna have any water.
Okay, so Don, can you just add in there per water superintendent approval? On 7. Okay, what else you got?
Yeah, I was good with that one. Oh, the landscaping, is there any reason we can't just change that to spring?
It's up to this board.
Because, what's that? Well,
What's the setback for this year?
it's by October 31st, I don't know if we'll have everything stabilized by then. And then plant trees before the winter.
Down along that east side, you're not gonna be doing a lot of grading over there anyway, are you? Right along the edge?
The whole site, I mean,
Yeah, you gotta do that.
So you focus on that part first to get the landscaping.
I have a better shot. I guess that's
What's the board think?
up to the board.
13, October or spring? And by spring, we need what?
usually it's May 31st.
May
May
31st.
31st. So October 31st or May 30th?
This year, there wasn't a hell of a lot of difference between.
I was gonna say,
31st and May.
You gotta buy the trees, you gotta dig the holes, you gotta put them in.
Got a lot more rain in May. It's just a,
By winter anyway.
Once you work on it, if you have to come back and get it amended, there's a simple amendment process.
Yeah, let's plan on October 31st and come back if you're having any huge issues with it, we can adjust it at that. How's that sound? Board okay with that?
It's point.
Okay, leave it 31st for now and come back if you have any crisis, you can't do it.
that's all I got. I'm done.
That's it, and we fixed number 15 to, pre-construction meeting. Oh, go ahead, Regina.
Condition 1, are they required to have any fencing or landscape buffering around the?
They're not required, but if they want it, they have to show it.
Yeah, you can't just decide to change, you decide to have fencing, you've gotta come back, if it's not listed.
But we're leaving it in there.
Yep.
No, because they basically have a berm and a natural landscape around that area right now that's
Right.
pretty much protecting view from the public highway, which is what we're concerned with.
There is a gate there.
Yeah, I understand maybe for their project, there's already existing firms, but for any other project.
Any other project we'll deal with when we get it.
Yeah. Unless you start having pilfering of material, then you may have to do it, which I hope the hell doesn't happen, but you never know.
Well,
Okay,
I just wanted, one other thing that Link and I discussed this morning was the easement issue and the filing of that and showing it on the final approved site plan. So as we did with the Victor Farmington Ambulance Corps,
Mhm.
we said, basically, you got two choices. Either you get the easement recorded now and show it on the final drawings before they're signed, or you come back at a later date before the C of O is issued with a amendment showing the filed easements. We have today the filed easements for the Victor Farmington ambulance. So I think Link, you and I are on the same page with that, right?
I just didn't want to hold up starting
No.
construction. But if you want to, if we want to tie it to the C of O, then we'll just, we don't have all of them filed. we can still,
Right.
you can still file the map, we can still do a pre-con, we can still go. We would just need to, once we get the map information, put it on our map and have it resubmit a revised plan for.
Yeah, an amendment. We do that all the time.
Okay, with that, anybody have anything else?
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to waive the reading and approve the resolution with the conditions amended tonight?
Revolution.
Resolution? Moved by, Doug, seconded by?
Yes.
Tim, any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote.
Lucia. Doug Beats.
Aye.
Gina Souza. Adrian Bellis.
Aye.
And Henry Jones.
Aye. Okay, you got your revolution.
Revolution. All right. thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, next item up is PB 2025-50504, the David and Julie Lowry final 2-lot subdivision plat. What do we got on this one? We got anybody online want to talk about this one?
Yep.
I am available for any questions if needed. It's Kevin Tung from Greenland Surveying.
Okay, this is just the final 2-lot subdivision. You've made the changes from the preliminary.
Yep.
Turn it over to staff then. Ron,
We're good to go.
we're good to go. Dan,
Good to go.
Paula, engineering, board, any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, with that, do I have a motion to waive the reading and approve the resolution? Well, just first off, you're okay with the resolution, right?
Are you asking me? I'm sorry.
You're okay with the resolution?
We are, yes. Perfect.
I have a motion to waive the resolution and or waive the reading of the resolution and approve the resolution as presented. Motion by Tim, seconded by Regina. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
Lucia. Doug Beats.
Aye.
Gina Souza. Adrian Bellis.
Yep, aye.
And Henry Jones.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
you guys. Have a
next
good evening.
Noel Peretta, final site plan applications for the commercial drainage excavation service. Do I have someone online for that one?
Yes,
Hello, any changes that we don't know of from preliminary to final?
Nope.
Okay, with that, staff, anybody have anything? Okay, board, have anything? I have a motion, you have, read the resolution and you're okay with the conditions?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion to waive the reading and approve the resolution as presented. Moved by Regina, seconded by Adrian. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote.
Lucia. Doug Beats. Gina Souza.
Aye.
Adrian Bellis.
Aye.
And Henry Jones.
Aye. Okay, you got her. Just get that in for signature and we'll be ready to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, no other board actions, open discussions. Ron?
Okay. Not in any particular order, but tomorrow I will be filing a contempt of court order against the Town Environmental Conservation Board. They promised us the open space index in the month of May, and it's now June. So we need to have a show cause order why it's not here.
There you go.
Matt emailed Brian. And they're still waiting to hear back. I don't know. It's ready to go. Brian just needs to email it.
Okay. Park and Recreation Master Plan, public hearing last meeting. Really no comments. Posing the document. A great job, Adrian. Thank you. And MRB for their expertise. We're ready to go with adopting it at the meeting next Tuesday night.
Good.
The Kite Road Solar, cellular, okay? Previously, the town received a FOIL for information relating to previous approvals for that solar, or cellular.
This is a cellular tower
I
that
guess-
was out of
Yeah,
approval cycle and we took care of it and approved it. The
Right.
special use permit.
yeah, but now one of the senior attorneys for American Tower up in Worcester, Massachusetts, is saying that she's objecting to the Schultz Associates engineers getting the special use permit for the tower. Well, Schultz Associates didn't get a special use permit for the tower. The special use permit had expired on lot number 2, and it was reissued to Mr. Batiste. Okay.
To the owner of lot number 2.
The owner of the estate, the executor of the estate. So I'm preparing a response back to them. It's within the 4-month time period that one has to file an Article 78. I'm just trying to avoid having to get into that litigation issue. So the irony of this is her whole argument is that this application was done without knowledge of American Tower. And yet I have in my possession, careful, an email from Mr. Simonetti at American Tower in Worcester, Massachusetts, saying that there is no need for the FCC or FAA permits because of the tower height. And that was what we based our approvals on. And we also based our approvals on removing the 2-year time period, which was originally approved back in 2007. So I'm not sure where this is going. Chapters 144 and 159, we're getting close on 159. 144 is another matter. I'm still waiting to hear back on that. But 159 is the water rules and regulations, and that's gone off to MRB for review today. The Stone Dust Trail issue over there with Murano and the town for the easements across the backs of 3 of the lots still has to be resolved. Fisher is working on that, and hopefully we'll have some answer in the near future so that we can get Rochester Earth back here to complete the trail, to do the remaining sidewalk work on Hortensia Road and close off this grant so that this fall we can go after another grant to complete the sidewalk project. The Wood Drive Bridge, there's going to be a public information meeting on that bridge closure and reconstruction, which is coming up on the 10th or 9th or 10th of June at the town board meeting. So if you're interested in knowing what's going on there, fine. Fortunately, the number of people using the wrong exit has kind of calmed down, or at least I heard that it has, and amazing what a few tickets will do. And then finally, Fish, not finally, the Fish Solar.
Right.
Remember, they were here before and you deemed their application not ready? I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything?
No, we're getting an update tomorrow at PRC.
Okay. So hopefully we'll have some updated information for you on that. And then finally, the Cook Incentive Zoning Project over there on 332 and 41. They have submitted a revised concept plan to the town. It's reduced a lot of the small lots for single family homes. It's reinstalled the limited industrial portion of the site, which they previously wanted more residential for. And it's going before the town board next Tuesday night as privilege of the floor to introduce this. It will come back to the planning board for a review and recommendation. They've done a traffic study update. They've done a analysis of the need for amending the secret regulations, review, rather, excuse me. And so that is.
I would hope that the town board gets some sense of their members of whether or not they can accept something at that level. I mean, yes, it's less dense, but if they are at that point where even the less dense they're not okay with, we're just spinning our wheels. It is what it is. We'll see it, we'll look at it and give them our feedback.
Yeah, and lastly, Matt Orvik from the state DOT Region 4 office has got back to us today, got back to me, and basically said that the pavement markings on 96 were changed for the Generations Bank, and that they, with the change, it would allow a redesign of the access to McDonald's. Now, we basically are concerned, Stan and I, with the access to Route 96, or 332, because of the fact that it's not lit. There are vehicles entering and exiting there. We recently had a fatality there,
Bicycle.
on a bicycle. And we are concerned about that continuing to remain as an in and out in that location. We also would like to have them take another look at the reconstruction and redesign of the McDonald's restaurant building. Right now, the way they've got it.
So let me interrupt. We had a submittal for McDonald's to be torn down and rebuilt with a new design.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They're not ready to move forward. So with that information, that's where Ron's coming with the information about talking with McDonald's.
Oh, okay, now I know. Okay, that makes more sense.
I'm just getting it on the record.
Okay.
Okay, that the design that we saw, you would come into the site. If you come in off of Route 96, you'd go into 2 lanes of ordering your fast food. We didn't look at the storage capability of each lane, whether it meets code or not. From the aspect of coming in off from Route 332, you had to go around the building and get back in line, and then go through and come back out. The town's official highway corridor map that we did years ago talked about redesigning the Route 96 entrance, which the state DOT loves, to take that entrance and close it off and have it served by the 60-foot right-of-way between McDonald's and the adjacent kitchen design place there. Johnson's, I guess it was, it's gone out of business. All of this is consistent with what I was involved with up in Penfield with 441 and 250. And they resulted in redesigning that in a similar fashion. And it's still there today. So hopefully, when they do come back, they will know at least where I stand and where I think the state DOT stands. They don't like the fact that the gas station entrance and McDonald's entrance is so close together and offset from the entrance from the Farmington Plaza on the south side of 96. That's a bad situation that I think we can correct.
Good.
That's where I was going with that, Dan.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's enough. Dan.
So just to wrap up on McDonald's real quick. They did We offered them to come to PRC, try to start these conversations of the town's concerns, and they said that they are not even close to being ready to come forward. They just wanted to let us know and get the feelers out there, and then when we start giving them comments, they pulled back very quickly, so.
Yeah,
So-
Dan did send him a note saying, we have some real concerns.
So, since Ron took most of the air out of this room with his report, I just have a quick update about our software. We have started uploading planning and zoning items into the software. I am going to work with Ed and get him access first before I open it up to the whole board. Just to work through some of the kinks, because that's what we're seeing as we add more people. There seems to be a couple more bumps, so I'm gonna have, Ed has offered, so I'm gonna take him up on that offer.
I have broken a lot of software in my day.
So, but our goal is still to have a workshop the end of July with this board, so everybody has access. We will still, until that point, still be putting things on the OneDrive and putting all the files up there, and doing our best. If you're having issues with the OneDrive, let us know. Paula has really taken that over, so just reach out to her and we'll get that resolved the best that we can, but we are trying to get away from the OneDrive to this new system.
Good idea.
So that's about all I'm gonna report on tonight.
Okay, Paula.
I'm all set.
Okay, engineering.
Nothing to report.
Okay, board.
One other
Sorry.
thing, I just looked, Tim had highway school this week, so that's why he's not here tonight. Tonight was his first night back. So he called me and said that he would like to go home. He hasn't been there all week, so.
Not,
I can understand
he studied hard.
it. Yeah. It's his last highway school. Probably threw him a big retirement party. That's probably what it was.
I don't know.
Board, anything?
I won't be here the first meeting of July.
Okay. When is our first meeting in July? It's on the 2nd? Okay. All right. Anybody else gonna miss the 2nd? I will be here. Yeah.
Even on the third.
I think, I'm pretty sure, well, no, I'll definitely be here on the 2nd. That's not a problem. Anybody, I don't have anything else. I appreciate you guys taking care of things while I was gone. Florida was hot. Other than that, everything went well. Anybody have anything else? There's no public online? With that, I have a motion to adjourn by Regina, seconded by Adrian. All in favor? Okay, thank you, everybody.